Hello everyone and welcome to the week 12 of our course in pharmacognosy and phytochemistry. So far in this course we have seen what is pharmacognosy and phytochemistry with its scope. We have dwelled into different set of compounds and plants containing them. For example, we saw tannins, alkaloids, resins, carotenes and so many other chemical classes. Thereafter, we went into methods of evaluation where we saw physical, chemical, biological methods of evaluation. Now, in this particular week, we are going to make use of technology to help us in understanding this subject further. Now, many of you who are dwelling into this course are researchers, academicians and students who are interested in pursuing in-depth knowledge about this subject. So, in this particular week, we will see what all tools does the internet have to offer in the subject of pharmacognosy and phytochemistry. In this particular session, that is the first session, we will see application of natural product databases for plant search. Now, why plant search is important? Say for example, you are interested in doing research on a plant. You just come across a plant and then you think that what all does it contain? What exactly is this plant? Now, in some plants there are different species. So, how do I identify this plant without having a proper botanical knowledge? Now, there are certain softwares or server based engines which can help you do this. So, how we can do this? Let's see them one by one. So, few places where you can search for your plant include databases such as Plants of World Online, Jastor Global Plants, Tropicos as well as New York Botanical Garden herbariums. Okay, so let's see these softwares and let's see these engines and how they help us. So, we will go on to the first engine and that's your Welcome to the World of Plants Online or Welcome to the Plants of World Online. Now, here what you do is, suppose for example, you want to pursue or are interested in one particular plant, this website carries numerous plant names. So, we will just see, maybe you just heard across or read on one particular formulation that my formulation contains this plant. So, what is this plant? Let me just see, let me just Google and I will just put this name of the plant in this website. So, say for example, I am interested in something called as Vidania. So, I will just quickly Google it and then the Plants of the World Online will tell you that if you are thinking of Vidania, there are so many Vidania species which are globally found. So, then you have to see what exactly am I interested in. So, there are about 3 pages, so you can just quickly browse through. So, your Vidania is just not about Vidania somnifera. As you can see globally, different species of Vidania are present. Okay. Again, we go to the next one, we will see the third page as well. So, the good part about this website is it is maintained by a very wonderful library, that is your Kew Botanical Gardens, which is located in UK, and they in their botanical repository have numerous photographs as well as herbarium sheets. So, including you will see it in their website, wherever they have the availability of the herbarium sheets, they are already been placed so that you do not have to search for it exclusively. So, let us click on any of them. I can see one here. See if this plant interests me. So, they have kind of photographed it in their natural habitat, that is in Ethiopia, and it is also found in Somalia. That is where geographically you can see the occurrence of this plant. They will give you about an idea, and then some synonyms which are often used to address this plant, that is your Vidania somnifera. which is also what we call it as ashwagandha, but here the variety is, because it's a Somalian plant, it is variety somalensis. It will give you the whole taxonomy of this plant. That's why I said if you're curious, you have to search these databases and you will come across the database which will give you the complete taxonomy, some publications which are there about these plants, and any other data including where these plants you can find a herbarium or a catalog. So you get a lot of data about each of this plant. Now we go to the next one. The next is the JASTAW website. This is also a very similar website which is seen or which is used globally, and again you can just try searching for the plant. I'll just put in the same one here, say for example Vedania. Let me see what this has to offer. So this one will also give me different details about this plant. So these websites are principally to help me search the plant. If it's Vedania, what exactly or which variety of Vedania do I want? Where does it occur? What is the taxonomy of this plant? So this will help me at least shortlist my plant initially for the searches. This website interestingly has herbarium sheets for most of the plants herein. So you can see here different isotypes, different varieties are also seen here, along with their synonyms and other names which are also used. Now this is a Vedania somnifera, or this is the one which is identified. You can just click here and you will come across a very good herbarium sheet which will help you identification of this plant. Similarly, you can use other website which we just mentioned, and that is a Tropicos. Tropicos gives you again help, or which will give you, you can choose it by family. Say for example, I am seeing Acaciae. So what all belongs to that particular family? You can search it by name or a common name. Say for example, let's say for example this plant. Let's search for it. So it's a Lamiaceae family member, and you can see some details coming in. Now simultaneously we'll also search another website, and that is your New York Botanical Garden. Now this New York Botanical Garden also provides numerous plants, but not only plants, it also provides for the repository of fungi. So if you see, there are almost 7 million kind of specimens, of which almost 4 millions have been digitized herein. So you can actually visit the virtual herbarium and search for your plants herein. So you can go by either family name, scientific name, geography, collector, or if you have the specific name, you can put the number, collection number, as well as the status. So you can just search for here, and you can see the Vedania. In terms of the herbarium sheets, your New York Botanical Garden has almost 97 specimen. So you can see here, there's different isotypes, and their collection dates are pretty old. So you can even trace old samples which have been now digitized. So this is the Indian one, Vedania somnifera. This is the one which is collected in US, Yemen. So you have it from different geographical locations. The good part of this nowadays is many of these botanical gardens are open to collaboration from botanists globally, and then you can supply your herbarium sheets and they'll be uploading it on their portal. So that is how you can see that the herbariums of different countries feature in this, and that helps the global research community in understanding the botany of these plants. So just taking a quick view of what all Vedania species we see herein. So there are many species of Vedania, and your Vedania somnifera dunal also you will find the specimens across the globe, collected in Kenya, US, India. And what you can do is you can just open them and then try to compare. Are they similar or are they dissimilar? Any speciation or any variation in terms of the size of leaves or any further variation has happened therein. So this is Vidania somnifera, the same one collected from Egypt. Again a Vidania somnifera collected from Libya. So that's why they have a huge collection, and definitely you can use this to see globally how Vidania somnifera occurs and is there any difference. This is the one collected in Spain, Egypt. So since there are two, we'll just quickly try opening. Meanwhile, our Tropicos has returned our search, and you can see here it comes with the taxonomical details of the plant that we are searching in. So this sites, and there are numerous other sites, some of them are paid, some of them are freewares, they'll help you. So you just have to put in your query. You want Tulsi, just put in your query as Ocimum. You want your other species like your mint, put in your query as Mentha. Just see how many variants, how many species of Ocimum, Mentha are present, and that will help you fine tune your plant for research. Not only that, as we go further, you will see that which are the ones which have been used in traditional medicine, which have been reported for their phytoconstituents, and what you can do is you can search similar other species and check if the same set of phytoconstituents are present in other species of them. So if Vidania coagulans, does it also contain vidaferin? If that's a question, you could search it through the softwares, try to search the phytoconstituents and then try to understand that yes, probably this also contains. So this species of Vidania may also show the similar or slightly similar kind of pharmacological activity. Now this was about your plant search. Moving further, what you can also do is, we all have a very rich traditional medicinal systems. So this traditional medicinal systems include your Ayurvedic medicines, your Siddha, Unani medicines and so on. Many a time what happens is many of these traditional books have been written in vernacular languages. Many of these books are written in Sanskrit. With current day knowledge, very few of us know Sanskrit to that depth. Many of the books have been translated, but still this data remains kind of hindered from the scientific community because of this language barrier, and as a result many government initiatives have been taken to convert this into a kind of a digital knowledge. So to understand our traditional medicinal drugs, we can use softwares or we can use search engines such as Traditional Knowledge Digital Library, that is a TKDL. We can use IMPPAT, that is the Indian Medicinal Plants Phytochemistry and Therapeutics database, and we can also use the Indian Medicinal Plants database. Now I have just highlighted pertaining to the Indian system of medicine as well as Indian plants, but if you see globally also numerous other search engines are available which can help me search similar kind of data pertaining to Campo system of medicine, your Chinese system, that is your TCM system of medicine, and understand them as well. So let's try to browse through this particular servers or search pages and see if any information they can help us offer in this regards. So when I go to my TKDL, you will land up with this page, that is the Traditional Knowledge Digital Library, which is maintained by the CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research here. Now many of this systems, especially if you see Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha and other system of medicines, that is your Swargya, is also maintained in this. So if you see, you can get data about TKDL, what it is, you can get data about its biopiracy, sources of information, you are free to give feedback and outcomes. What we are interested here, what specifically we are interested here is our knowledge, especially the TKDL search. Now when you do a TKDL search, what you can do is you just click on this you can have, it's right now still being updated. So currently, as you can see, as on this date, it has about 1250 formulations. You can just carry or click on a very simple search. Okay. Now this simple search can help you with the search of plants which are used in Ayurvedic system of medicine. Now let's put the very same query here. I'll just try Vidania. I'm keeping both local names as well as keyword search. And as you can see here, it is returned to me with one such thing. Now what is this script that you are seeing across? Now this script, what you are seeing across are actually the preparations that contain Vidania. So you know, in your Ayurveda, Ashwagandha has been used. So I click in, what happens is, like I said, because it's been translated digitally, many a times many of the Sanskrit words are not picked up properly. So I am just seeing, you can see here Aswastya Churnam. I am just clicking on it, and as I click on it, you can see this Churnam formulations. So what is this Churnam made up of? So Vidania is definitely one it has ended up with, but apart from Vidania, it contains numerous other things like your Syzygium aromaticum, which is your clove, your cinnamon veti, which is nothing but your cinnamon, you have cardamom, all of them. It also comes up with the quantities of each of this drug present in the formulation, how to prepare this formulation, and where exactly it is used. So from this, just by putting a query about a drug, I know where all that drug is used, which all preparations this drug is used, and also in that preparation what is the quantity and what is the therapeutic indication. So this is a software which tells you lot of about traditional medicinal preparations. So if I see a plant, say for example Ayurvedic plant, black pepper or ashwagandha, and I want to know where all it is used, this is one particular software which will come up with telling me, see, there are 10 of this Ayurvedic formulation in which your ashwagandha has been used. You click on that, you will come to know ashwagandha is used in combination with what and what is the dose of it. So I'm just quickly closing this. Similarly, you can just see other ones. It also gives you how ancient is the preparation. If you can see, it's a 500 years old. Again, you can see the individual ingredients, the quantities of it, therapeutic indications, how it is prepared, and the application part of it. So this is how your TKDL helps with the traditional knowledge search. Another software which also helps me with this search is your IMPP80. So if you go to this, this is the one, it's a curated database maintained for Indian medicinal plants. It gives you a knowledge about phytochemistry as well as therapeutics. But in interest of today's session, we'll just dwell into the phytochemical search herein. So you can see both the phytochemical associations are also there, the therapeutic uses are also there. So I can search for therapeutic use or I can search for phytochemical association. So let's here again put the same query and try searching what it has to offer us. So if you say Vidania, I have non-specifically said Vidania, I have not said coagulants or somnifera. So it has come up with this search saying that this particular plant, the plant part of which contains Vidaferin. So you can see there are almost 153 entries and what all compounds it contains. So your vidanolides are present in your somnifera, linoleic acid is present in your coagulants, and so on. So this will give you mostly the set of phytoconstituents which are present in your drug. And in terms of therapeutic use, if I just put here fever, I'll just make things simple, I'll just put in fever and let's see what it has to offer. So it will give you a list of all Indian traditional medicinal plants which have been used in fever. So it is good for people, those who are working in the pharmacological domain. Say imagine you have to prepare a new formulation for fever or prepare new combination for fever. These are all the drugs that have been used in Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani medicine, especially the Indian medicines for your fever treatment. So you can check out for this, check out for their mechanism of action now that you know also how to find the phytoconstituents. Simultaneously, you can prepare combinations of any of this and that can be useful in your research. So these are all, you can see almost there are 177 pages. So you can imagine how many Indian medicinal plants have been applied for the management of fever herein. So this is your phytochemical. You can even check here for phytochemical association. So say for example, you know a plant. I am just putting the first, Abel moschus. So here you get what is called as phytochemical association. Now what is this? Once I check in a plant, say Abel moschus esculentis, in that case it will give me the taxonomy. It will use it or it will tell you. See here, the same softwares we checked, the Q ones, World Flora Online, Tropicos, the same ones, and you can see it has created a curated diagram. Now what this curated diagram is, on the center of this is a plant and at the edges what you see as those green dots are actually the compounds present here. Now these compounds have been annotated by a number. So the moment you click on it, you will see what compound is present. So every node there, every green dot out there is actually a phytomolecule associated with that plant. So this is a kind of diagram which will summarize all the phytomolecules which are present in this plant. So with help of this software, you know what is the plant, you know what all phytoconstituent it contains. You can reverse your query saying this is the disease, what all Indian medicinal plants have been used in the system, and I can go back to that. Okay. The next software what we try is the Indian medicinal plants database. Now again this is an interesting database which will help you curate medicines for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani system of medicine. So I'll just quickly check or search in Ayurveda. I can go by botanical names, I can go by vernacular names. Again let me type the same query just for you all so that you can compare of all the softwares. So it is telling me when I put a query of Vidania, you remember the Q database and many other databases are different varieties. But if you see the traditional medicinal Indian database, it just comes up with two, Vidania coagulans and Vidania somnifera. Vidania somnifera is your ashwagandha, and if you remember Vidania coagulans is often referred to as paneer fool, which is nowadays consumed by the diabetic patients. So let's click on Vidania somnifera, and what do you come across? You come across numerous vernacular names of this plant. So this particular database gives you a very curated list of what all names have been used for ashwagandha in different Indian languages. So it is not that in Kannada it just been called by one language. You can see here, depending upon the dialects, this software kind of curates. So even in Kannada it has kind of 35 names, in Hindi it has 10 names, in Tamil you can see the names, it has like 117. Okay. Now one more interesting part of it is I can see the Ayurvedic identity and I can see the shlokas. Now what are the shlokas? I can just pick up one plant and see what Ayurveda has to say about it. Say for example, I pick up Agaru. So it gives you the kind of note which is there about that plant in the Ayurvedic script. So what does it say? Agaru is Katu, Tikta in Rasa. So in properties, Ushna in Virya, Snigdha in Guna. So Ayurvedic medicines, they are characterized by their Rasa, Virya, Guna and such properties. So all the properties of these plants are already been given here. So if you are searching in terms of Ayurvedic properties, you can take a look here. So maybe let's see some later plants. Say for example Vasaka. You can see Vasaka is a kashaya, so you take a juice of it. In properties, you can say it pacifies your kind of breathe, especially your kapha is what it elevates. So all these properties which are there in Ayurvedic scripts can be used or can be found out via this database. So quickly summarizing today's session. So what you can see or what we did today is we saw a few plant search databases. This plant search databases help me identify a plant for my research. If I am curious, I just have to raise my plant query in this databases. They come up with taxonomy, they come up with herbariums and possibly their geographical locations. Some of them give a little depth about compounds, but many of them actually are more botany oriented databases. Post that, we came across what are called as traditional medicinal drugs and formulation based databases. This included many Indian databases which we discussed herein, that is your traditional knowledge digital library, your IMPPAT, and then you had your Indian medicinal plants database. So we have many such other databases, but much of this will help you find a good plant for your therapeutic application, as well as if you know a plant, what therapeutic applications does it carry. So with this we end our session. So thank you everyone for your time.